This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which is recorded live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Radio Show is being brought to you by The Barbecue Guru, the original creators of automatic pit temperature control devices, now offering 4 different models for you to choose from. Rest easy knowing that The Barbecue Guru is controlling your pit temperature so you can get on with your life. Visit bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU for more information. And by Fred's Music and Tasty Licks BBQ Supply, your online barbecue and grilling superstore. From cookers to grills, wood chips and chunks, and everything in between. Also be sure to try the Tasty Licks barbecue brand of rubs and sauces. Check Fred out online at tastylicksbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Located in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, Stephen DeFranco Jewelers is a family-owned and operated business looking to service the great folks of the barbecue and grilling world. Get free shipping and big discounts by mentioning my name and the term Barbecue Brother. Check out their inventory by visiting StephenDeFranco.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, with 30 years of experience in retail, wholesale, meat markets, food service, and customer service. Using that experience, everything they do and sell at Butcher's Barbecue comes from real-world knowledge. Check out their award-winning spices, sauces, marinades, and injections by visiting ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. And by Green Mountain Grills. Discover something you'll really, really love. Grilling with pellets. Green Mountain pellet grills are the top of the line, best of the best, but not the highest in price. And be sure to check out all of their flavor rubs, sauces, and pellets for the Green Mountain Grill, all on their website. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to peruse the entire products portfolio. And by Barbecuer's Delight Wood Pellets. 2/3 oak, 1/3 flavor wood, giving you that perfect combination of BTU burn and sweet, succulent smoke you're looking to get all over your meat. A wide variety of flavors, so please go to the website to check it out and get yours today. Barbecuer's Delight, which is bbqrsdelight.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, host of Wine Library TV, a.k.a. WLTV, and this is BBQ Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Radio Show. The show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, rapidly becoming known as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening. If you want to get in touch with the show tonight, you can do it one of two different ways. It's a toll-free call, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show if you want to, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are your two ways to get in touch with me, should you want to do so during the course of the evening. If you haven't, everything else about the show can be found at the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening on the show. First of all, if you haven't signed up for that newsletter yet, head on over to the website and sign up for that. About 150, 200 spots left for that. Comes out every Tuesday around 4 o'clock Eastern and gives you that little bit of heads up on what's happening during the show a little bit later on in the evening. In case you don't get it, here's what's happening. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, frequent guest of the show, a host of his own show, Sam Zion, a.k.a. Sam the Cooking Guy, will be joining me. And we'll be talking about a number of different topics to include the status of his show currently, maybe some great recipes that he has been working on, might work in a rice cooker question. Who knows what's going to be going on when we talk to Sam the Cooking Guy, but always look forward to that conversation. 14 past the hour we'll see Sam with us. 35 past 9 o'clock. Fred Bernardo, the smoking guitar player and owner of Tasty Licks Barbecue, pitmaster of Tasty Licks Barbecue competition cooking team, joins us. They hosted the Three Eyes competition. Well, it wasn't a competition class. I guess it was more focused towards the backyard. So I wanted to get a recap on that, and then, of course, we'll see what's hot and awesome at Tasty Licks, whether it be the online presence or the brick-and-mortar store. And then we move into the second hour. First-time guest Mitch Sonati joins me from Dirt Productions. We're going to be talking to him about the new barbecue documentary that he has coming up called American Smoke. DirtProductions.com, the website, if you want to check it out in advance. And then 10:35, Malcolm Reed helps me close out the show strong. Pitmaster of Killer Hogs and the author of HowToBBQRight.com. And we'll be talking about how to make homemade bacon. Everybody loves bacon. Can't get enough. Hey, look, you're listening to the show, right? This is a live show. This is March 5th, 2013. You're only really able to listen to the show via the number of audio avenues that we have. So if you are listening to the show right now and you know somebody that typically goes in on the video side, which is going to be down for a couple weeks at least, make a Facebook post or get on your Twitter account, tweet it out that you are listening to the show right now, and you can only do that at thebbqcentralshow.com. And at the very top right of the navigation there, it gives you 3 different options to listen. If you got an Apple, use QuickTime. If you have a PC-based machine, use the Windows Media Player. You can also use Real Player. You can also go to TuneIn.com or TuneInRadio.com or whatever it is. Get it there. You can go to Shoutcast.com. Get it there. Just search BBQ Central, and typically that'll bring up the radio. You can also listen to it on your smartphone if you download the TuneIn app, TuneIn Radio app. It's free. Again, just search BBQ Central, and typically I'll just show up right after you do that. This show will actually be in Roku version for consumability probably tomorrow at some point. There just will not be any video, obviously. So you might be asking yourself, what is going on over there at Barbecue Central? No video, a number of weeks. It was kind of failed last week. And the bottom line is this. We had a really good audio second hour last week. We had a really bad and unfortunate video first hour with Meathead, and he always seems to get the brunt of it for some reason. I feel real bad for him about that. What we've been able to devise is, or surmise, is this, and I spent the better part of 2.5 hours with the creator of the Outdoor Cooking Channel, Kevin Bevington, on a Saturday this past. And basically what it's boiled down to is I have some processor issues that when we add the video software and then connect in through Skype, that's throwing my processors into a tizzy for some reason. So that has to get worked out. Unfortunately, there's roughly 3 or 4 more pressing matters than me getting a new computer to get this video thing on board, namely paying taxes, which I've never had to do like in 10 years. I'm not going to tell you why we have to do it this year. But federal, state, and local get their share of quite a bit of money, unfortunately, which I was not very happy about. So that's first. Some other issues to take care of, and then we'll look at getting the new rig on board. And I do have a couple other people that I've been consulting with that are within this TV and radio and production industry, and I'm going to be getting some great information from them as well. So really, that's what's been going on the last couple weeks. We're boiling it down to 1 or more bad processors. Does that mean we're going to crash tonight? I doubt it, because we're just doing it. I mean, it worked last week. It's working right now. There really isn't that much tax on the processors right now, just doing the audio recording. So I think, I'm feeling pretty confident. But of course, you never know. So take it for what it is. Hopefully we'll gut through it. We got some great giveaways tonight as well. So I'm looking forward to that. You'll recall that typically every month, although he's been hard to track down the last 3 or 4 months, Derek Riches from About.com usually comes on and gives us his take on what's new in the barbecue market, items that he has been testing out or getting from manufacturers that might be looking to bring new stuff on board into the market. And he'll try it out and test it out and do all that great stuff with it. And then he comes on and talks about, well, you should spend your money on that, or that's kind of a waste of money. I wouldn't spend my money on that. Stuff like that. He has released bbq.about.com. The best barbecue beans recipe. So I'm going to go link over to that right now, and I'll give you the top 10. Number 1, Judy Mills from Scratch Baked Beans. Number 2 is the Boston Baked Beans. 3 is the Cowboy Beans. Number 4 is the Carolina Barbecue Beans. Number 5, the Kansas City Baked Beans. So already regional confrontation going on there. Number 6, Smoked Beans. Never heard of smoked beans. 7, Hot and Spicy Barbecue Beans. Some like it hot. Number 8, Easy Barbecue Beans. That was a recipe that was simple and delicious. Use your slow cooker on that if you want. And here's a bean that I think gets overlooked because it's not like regionally, well, it's not nationally accepted, not nationally known. I would say hyper-regional in where it's known and how it's used, but that's the Santa Maria-style pinquito beans. I've had them. Top people in the Santa Maria-style barbecue industry gave me beans. You know, there's a process to these, and you got to eat them right. They are a cross between like a small pink and a small white bean, and they're available for purchase online, or you can substitute pinto beans, I suppose, but that doesn't really make the pinquito beans. Traditionally used with the Santa Maria-style barbecue when you're making a tri-tip. Have a side of pinquito beans, like cowboy style, all that stuff. And then, of course, number 10, barbecue beans, which was submitted to Derek by some guy named Bruce Cook. So those are Derek's top 10 barbecue bean recipes. You can find them at bbq.about.com. As far as giveaways tonight, we have the Standbys, the Brian Corbett Smokin' Scully's giveaway sauce. You get 6 bottles of his sauce. We reviewed it last week during the first hour. Although you wouldn't know it.
Get that big stuff out of here.
All 3 of us actually liked it. So it was me, it was my wife, it was my middle daughter. All 3 of us liked it. I think you will too. Plus you get 6 bottles. I mean, that's strong, right? You get 6 bottles. Smokin' Scully sauce coming up. $10 gift card to barbecuesuperstore.com. That is thebbqsuperstore.com. And then a special giveaway from Andy Husbands, a signed copy, autographed copy of Wicked Good Barbecue. It's one of the best books about barbecue to ever come out on the face of the earth. And you will get your chance to get a signed copy, autographed signed copy, of Wicked Good Barbecue. Those are your giveaways tonight. So be ready. Get those fat fingers ready, as I like to say. All right, folks. Coming up in just over a week, the Smokin' at the Run barbecue contest will be held at the Buffalo Run Casino and Hotel in Miami, Oklahoma. I will be hosting this event. It is a first-time barbecue contest sanctioned by KCBS. $7,500 overall purse. Guess what, folks? We were going to cap at 50 teams. It's sold out at 55 teams. Crazy. What did you miss out on? How about a cheap $200 entry fee? How about a 20 by 40 spot that's on pavement? How about you visit BuffaloRun.com, click on the banner on the homepage and see full details about what you missed. Plus book a room and hang out for the weekend. Why not? What's better to do in Miami, Oklahoma? We're going to kick that competition season off in spectacular fashion. Come on down. Join me along with all those other pitmasters that were lucky enough to get in, who will be vying to be that first grand champion of this event. And I saw the hardware that those winners are going to be getting. Very impressive. This competition is being organized by David Qualls. He is a competition cook. He knows what it's like to cook in a well-run contest, so you know he's going to bring it strong. Again, head on over to BuffaloRun.com, click on the Smokin' at the Run banner to get all that information that's going to be happening this weekend after next. Week after this coming, in 1 week's time about. Can I say it like that? A week from this coming weekend. And it's going to be awesome. 55 teams. It's a complete sellout. It's a first-year contest. There's going to be $7,500 of guaranteed prize payout, plus me hosting the event. Well worth however much it costs to get out there, right? Of course. We're going to have a great time, and I can't wait to see everybody that's going to be competing there. Plus, there's a lot of people that are contacting me through email saying, hey, we're going to make a trip down. We want to say hi, take some pictures, kiss babies, all that good stuff. I'd love to see you down there as well. Again, it's March 15th and 16th, so it'll be a week coming up, week after next. This coming weekend after that. How about that? March 15th and 16th at the Smokin' at the Run in Miami, Oklahoma, at the world-famous Buffalo Run Hotel and Casino. BuffaloRun.com. That's BuffaloRun.com. And I will be seeing you there in just over a week's time. Very excited for that. Plus, from what I understand, 100% CBJ. We're coming back with Sam the Cooking Guy right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are the two ways to get in touch with me. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, more than happy to have you. Don't forget, coming up in about 25 minutes from now, the smoking guitar player Fred Bernardo joins me. We're going to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Joining me now, a regular contributor to the show, multiple-time author. He has won several Emmy Awards. Currently, to date, I have won 0 Emmy Awards. He hosts his own show, the Sam Livecast, which can be seen on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Let's welcome back friend of the show, Sam Zien. Sam, how are you, buddy?
Yay, I'm back. How are you, my friend?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Sam, and I appreciate you making time for the show as always. What's happening, man? What's good?
I'm here for you. That's all I have to say.
All right. Hey, at least somebody is.
And by the way, not that I'm counting and not that it matters, but several Emmys is actually 13. I'm just saying.
All right. Hey, lucky 13. Right?
There you go.
Lucky 13.
That's
all right.
Exactly right.
So lots of topics to hit tonight, Sam, so let's get at it. Now, first and foremost, aside from the 13 Emmys, can you believe that your appearance tonight marks just over a year since your debut segment back in mid-February 2012? Like, how quickly is time passing right now? It's crazy, right?
You know, I mean, I say it to my kids all the time, but it is literally unbelievable to me how fast it goes the older you get. I mean, am I right?
It's funny because I was just going to say it seems like the older you get, the faster time is eroding. When you were a teenager, it just seemed like summer took forever to end. School year took forever to end. Man, right. It is crazy going by so fast.
It's exactly right. And, not to get all, emotion or anything, but that's exactly the reason why you have to appreciate what you have, where you are, and don't miss opportunities in life, whatever they may be.
All right, so I worked up in case you forgot, like how cool it was to be on the show the very first time. I got to find. I worked up a montage of the highlight of the very first time you were on the show. Do you want to take a listen to it with me?
Yeah, yes, I do. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Hold on one second.
First timer to the show. It's Sam Zien, Sam the Cooking Guy. Sam, how are you, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing, Greg?
Fuckface.
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 Fuckface. Fuckface. Shit. Fucking. Fuck it. Really fucking good. Fucking. Fuck it. Shit the shit. Fucking shit. Shit. Shitty. Fuck it. Fucking fuck up. Oh, fuck.
No shit.
Shit.
Wait.
Hey, y'all. Fucking. Hey, y'all. Shit happens. Shit. Fucking shit.
Fucking
shit. Fucking.
There he is. Sam.
Yeah. What about that?
Wait a second. I do not believe that was my first time with you.
Yeah, that was it.
Not all of that.
Well, a little condensed, I have to admit. That was a little condensed.
I do remember us conversing after that first visit, and you saying some people were a little concerned with my language.
Well, here's the bottom line. I went through, it was maybe a 25, 30-minute segment, so I just went out and I decided to just pick out what everybody bitched about and then throw it right back in their face a year later.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, man, this is your show. You can do what you want.
That's right. So while we're talking about shows, let's go ahead and stay with you just for a second. You recently changed up your show a little bit, going from, tantamount to a completely live show like mine's done once a week, now to, I guess, what is like a pre-recorded, still 3 times a week. And look, I've done this show live for 5 years now, definitely not 3 times a week. So I can only imagine the talks that were going on behind the scenes prior to you actually, kind of announcing it to the world and then ultimately transitioning into that pre-recorded show now. So how big of a decision was it for you, and how did it build to that decision?
It's interesting because I didn't think it was that big a decision as we were getting ready to do it. A couple things prompted it. One was Lynn was going away for a while.
Yeah.
He had to take a sabbatical or leave of absence. Max, who runs the board, moved to LA, which meant that he could come down to shoot, but coming down 3 nights a week was going to be a little problematic. So while that's going on, we start getting a sense of how people seem to be consuming the show.
Yep.
And there was a core audience that would watch live, but it turned out it was really tiny. And we thought, well, if only a few people are watching live, let's be realistic about this and let's approach it that we serve the masses as opposed to just a few. And so we thought, let's do that. At the same time, my schedule was, I'm a food guy, so a lot of stuff I do is nighttime events, and it was making it difficult for me to be there live to do these things. So every so often we would record one in advance, and nobody seemed to care.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is going on. We decided we're going to change the format of the show. We're going to record it when we need to. We'll air it Monday. You'll wake up Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, and the show will be there waiting for you, as opposed to the nighttime thing. And so we make the announcement, and a few people hate my guts for it. I had a woman that used to be on the live cast every single night who sent an email that said, or she actually Facebooked it, and she said, I feel like I have wasted the last year and a half of my life. I will not watch again.
Brutal.
Right?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And a few people saying, well, we really like the live component. We like to be on Facebook at the time and talk back and forth with Kelly and you guys there, and we'll try to catch it. But so now I hear this. The same day that we made the announcement, I read that that Jamie Oliver, the British chef, is starting his own version of a podcast, but he's doing it live. So now I have people telling me basically that I'm an asshole. I got Jamie Oliver starting his own live version, and in my mind, I'm thinking, geez, man, this is I made a big mistake. But now as the next couple of weeks go by and people start watching that episode, now a lot of people are writing in saying, you know what, works for us because we couldn't watch live anyways. We just like watching. And then the funny thing happened that I really didn't, I guess, expect. Our iTunes numbers started to just go way up. And now you can't find us on the food lists, podcast lists, when we're not in the top 10 of the podcasts or the individual episodes. In fact, I think if you go at least 2 days ago, and iTunes is a little bit like the stock market. It comes and goes. It ebbs and flows, or whatever they say. The other day, we were in the top 10 of all watched food podcasts, and in individual episodes, we had 3 of the top 10.
Wow.
And honestly, Greg, that was not happening before. I think somehow the fact that we're just putting it out there when we are, and maybe it's just momentum. Maybe it's now after 2 years almost of doing this that it's starting to catch on. But whatever has happened, it hasn't been a bad thing. At the same time, we've shortened it to trying to stay at a half an hour. And everything now seems to be clicking and working. So
right,
now I feel like I'm a genius. But honestly, there was a few days there that I felt like the stupidest guy on the planet.
Well, I mean, the people that make that, I think the people that have the ability to watch a show live, they build more of a personal investment into the show than the guys that are consuming it. Well, the vast majority of people, because I'm in the same boat. I have a very small percentage of people that listen to the show live. I have a substantially larger audience that downloads and they consume the show whenever that they want. It's convenient for them. But the people that make that commitment to do the live show, they feel like they invest more than the podcasters. You know what?
I guess they do. I mean, they're still spending the same amount of time, but it's interesting. I mean, it makes an interesting statement about how we want to consume our entertainment these days, and we're very much becoming a nation of people that you want what you want when you want it.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that, you know?
So overall, happy that you made the switch and everything's going just fine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Going just fine.
All right. So, well, let me ask you this. Do you ever foresee going back into a live show at some point?
You know what? I see going back doing live special event shows. You know, like maybe a half a dozen a year. Maybe when there's an audience or there's a reason to do it or something like that. But even still, I mean, the feedback that I'm getting these days tells me that people will watch where it is, when it is. Doesn't really matter if it's live, you know, at that minute. Because I mean, look at what on television is live. You know, when we watch, I don't know, maybe the Academy Awards are live, but even a lot of those major award shows, to benefit the people on the East Coast, they start them at like 5 o'clock. So it's 8 o'clock there, and the furthest away is 8 o'clock, and then people can watch and not have to worry about staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Plus, I think
Letterman, Leno, Fallon, all those shows are shot in advance. I mean, yeah, they're shot the day that they air, but they air at 11:30 at night, and they shoot those things at 5 o'clock.
Right. And I think ultimately, as we kind of tie a ribbon on this, you know, how are you watching most of your shows anyway? You DVR them, you watch them when you want to watch them so you can fast forward through all the commercials, right? I mean, can you name even 3 shows that you watch live specifically to catch them live as they're happening?
I can't name one. In fact, Kelly and I, my wife Kelly and I, just fell in love with Downton Abbey maybe a month or so ago. And it's now over. 3 seasons of it are now over.
Yep.
But we watched not the first 2 seasons, one show a week like regular people. We would watch one show a night, every night until we were done with the season. And some nights we would watch 2. So if you want to go on the Sam Livecast and watch 5 episodes, you can do that. You don't have to wait till, you know. And I think that's what people like to do. I'm not going to argue with what the people want, Greg. I really am not.
We're not here to argue. We're talking with Sam Zien, Sam the Cooking Guy. You can find him at thesamlivecast.com or thecookingguy.com. Sam, a couple recipes if you could. I'm 5 o'clock rolls around here on the East Coast. You know, like you're doing right now, I like to grab a little drink. What's your drink of choice? What do you like to make for people when they come over? And, hey, do you want a drink? Yeah, just make me something. What's your go-to?
I guess it sort of depends. I try and, if I can, stay with the theme of the food that I might be making. I mean, if I'm making Mexican and like Southern California, you know, from my house to the Mexican border is about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So we do tequila a lot, and I make a good margarita, and the margarita recipe that's on my website, everybody should make. And I don't benefit from it. I'm just telling you, it's a damn good margarita. So if I'm making Mexican, I might do that. You know, we try and do beer that's thematic for the food. If I've got Italian food going, you know, we'll buy Peronis or Japanese beer, you know, whatever. Asahi, if I got some Japanese going. But I'm fond of whiskey and bourbon these days.
Oh,
I really am. And I think a lot of people are starting to turn onto it. I said to somebody the other day, you know, whiskey is the new vodka.
Yeah.
like whatever, red is the new black or whatever they say. There's a recipe on my website called a bourbon romaine, and it's a bourbon or whiskey, your choice, whatever your favorite is, on ice with ginger ale, Angostura bitters shaked in, and a big wedge of lime. And I'm telling you, I can't make that when somebody doesn't ask me for the recipe. And this is men and women. Women love the drink. The ginger ale takes the edge off. It fits perfectly. And the Angostura bitters just add an herbal note. And I don't mean to sound all, chefy, because I'm not, I call myself a cook. But the Angostura bitters add a really nice element to it that you just can't get without it. I mean, it's fantastic.
It sounds like, initially it's a highball. You got whiskey or bourbon, you got ginger ale.
Right.
Which is what my grandfather used to drink only for the holidays, and I like to carry on that tradition since he's passed. But then, putting in the bitters, that's like I've never done that before, and then I don't typically, wedge a lime in there either. So got to try that.
I have to tell you, it's called bourbon romaine because a very dear friend of mine who's now since passed away, his name was Romaine, taught me this drink a bunch of years ago. And I could drink it like morning through night. It's good. And whether you use Maker's Mark or Jack Daniels, it doesn't make any difference. It's all good. I wouldn't use a super expensive bourbon or whiskey with it. I'd save those ones for drinking with one giant ice cube, sipping. And you're a barbecue guy, so I'm going to imagine you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but at least for me, I try and save the expensive alcohols for drinking sort of by themselves. So I really appreciate what they bring in a glass as opposed to, putting some kind of soda or mix with it.
Gotcha. Feel completely the same way when we're talking about high dollar stuff. Now, Get your drink taken care of. Are there any new bless you, Kelly? Are there any new food recipes going? Whoa! Watch out!
You heard that?
Yeah.
Kelly
sneezed
is
twice.
like 20 feet away from me, sneezing like she's right in my ear.
I know, that's crazy. High quality equipment you're using there. What's the new or the favorite main dish that you're either real high on right now or that you're working on right now?
Okay, so I'll tell you, we have people coming over for dinner in a couple of minutes.
Oof.
And I'm making, in my pot right now, will be, when I finish it off, will be cioppino, which is like a seafood, sort of like an Italian seafood stew.
Yep.
Really simple, really delicious. The base of it is really onion and garlic that you've softened, and then you put in whole peeled tomatoes that you've crushed up. And I add some Bloody Mary mix that you would add vodka to. Bloody Mary mix is one of those things that it's one ingredient, but it's really more like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because it's got spices, it's got, horseradish, depending on the one that you buy. It's got hot sauce. It's great. So in my pot on the stove right now is this, fairly thick liquid of simmering away of crushed tomatoes and garlic and onion. Mm. And off to the side are shrimp and scallops and clams and some mahi-mahi that will all go in at the same time. The lid will go on, and 7-8 minutes later, the shrimp will be perfect, the scallops will be perfect, the mahi-mahi will be cooked the right way, the clams will have opened. And you'll ladle it into bowls and serve it with a good crusty bread.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man, it is crazy good. Crazy good.
And it sounds, again,
so that's
holding with the Sam the cooking guy theme, fairly simple, not a lot of ingredients.
Right. That's exactly right. Fits perfectly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We did, on the live cast, we did Dumpling Week.
Yeah.
It
was 2 weeks ago. Yep.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we did potato pierogies. You take a wonton wrapper and inside of it, a wonton wrapper that you buy already made from the store.
Yeah.
Inside of it, you put a mix of mashed potatoes and shredded cheddar cheese. You seal them up. You boil them for 2 minutes. You take them out of the pot. You drain them, and then you put them in a little nonstick pan with some butter, and you brown them. And you serve them with sour cream and a lot of like caramelized onions.
Oof.
Oh my, oof is right. Oh my God.
So,
we also did, chicken and dumplings. With a deli roasted chicken, one of the easiest things you can make. They're so comfort food delicious. It's almost stupid.
and that's like a throwback to the old days. Not a lot of people are making like chicken and dumplings.
No, I don't think young people make stuff like that unless they've really been taught it. And I feel, Greg, like we went through this period of time when parents weren't teaching kids how to cook for some reason. I don't really get it, but they weren't. And kids missed out on all this history-rich food that they should have been paying attention to. You know, I have a child at college that doesn't know anything about cooking. My flesh of my flesh. He's from my loins, for God's sake. And people ask me if he likes to cook, and I go, no. That kid likes to be cooked for.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He's going to be sorry one day, and I'm trying to help him, and he doesn't really want to learn. But I feel like there's a whole generation of kids that came out like that, and they need to learn these things.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that was probably 5 years my junior, was maybe even 10 years my junior, was that generation that kind of got passed over, or maybe just didn't have any interest. You know,
right. Man,
I'm going to sound like an old effer when I say this, but the more sophisticated the video games got and the more prolific the internet got, what's more exciting for a kid, to go shoot 1 billion people on Call of Duty or watch mom make chicken and dumplings? I mean, to me, it's chicken and dumplings. I'm a cooking guy.
You're completely right. Sadly, you're completely right. But I have 2 children that are older than that one. They both like to cook. They appreciate cooking is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Zien is the host of the Sam Livecast, and you can watch it Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays by visiting thesamlivecast.com. Sam, I know you got some people coming over. Don't want to hold you up anymore, so I always appreciate the time you give the show, man. We'll do it soon, okay?
You're the best. Thanks, Greg.
All right, take care. There he is. Sam Zien. I think that's right. God, I sound like I'm being old. There is there's a generation of kids out there, and it hasn't changed. Look, the younger they get, it's more pervasive than it is. I'd say mid-20s. I'm 38. Mid-20s, maybe towards 30, that generation, for whatever reason, used to either being cooked for or didn't take the interest in learning how to cook still. I just want to learn how to cook good food. Don't go out. All right, gang, let me talk to you quickly about Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply. We're going to have Fred on here in just a second. He'll be the first one to tell you there's unsavory businesses and creeping marauders out there at each and every turn. I think we can all agree on that. Sometimes you're looking for a barbecue or grilling item that isn't stocked anywhere in your hometown, so now you're forced to go on the internet. Maybe you're scared. You've been screwed on the internet before. You don't want it to happen again. Great news. Fred Bernardo and the gang over at Tasty Licks will take care of you and your internet buying stresses. They have one of the most complete inventories of barbecue and grilling items anywhere on the face of the earth. All those items that you see on Fred's website are in stock. They're ready to ship to you directly. They carry grills, smokers, ceramic cookers, electric cookers, various charcoal types, wood chunks, chips, cookbooks, accessories. They do classes. If they don't have it, if they don't do it, you don't need it. On top of all that, Fred carries many other show sponsors in his store as well. You're almost doing like a 2-for-1. Shopping at a sponsor and buying sponsors' products. Best of both worlds. And don't forget that Tasty Licks has their own line of barbecue sauces and rubs as well. Be sure to try them. I just used the veggie blend in dinner tonight. Love that veggie blend. So head on over to Tasty Licks Barbecue. That's tastylicksbbq.com. It's the only place I go to get all my barbecue supplies. So should you. Trusted online retailer, proud sponsor of the show for a long time now. Let Fred know how you listen to the show each and every week and how you hear his spots live every Tuesday. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com, TastyLicksBBQ.com, and we'll be back with a Smoking Guitar Player right after this. But straight ahead, a Smokin' Scully's giveaway. So stick around for that. We'll be right back.
Now's the time where we give stuff away. People give us stuff on the show to give away at no money for you. That's why it's free. Send an email on its way when I tell you to. That's why we give stuff away.
Well, I think I've made a determination that song is a little too long. And it was just off the cuff when I sang it. All right, your chance to win Brian Corbett of Smokin' Scully's 6-pack of their Leave the Bones sauce. Just Leave the Bones, I believe it's what it's called. You get 6 bottles for free. Get it Smokin' Scully's in a subject line of an email that you're about to blast off to me. In the subject line, Sam the Cooking Guy. For your chance to win a 6-pack of Smokin' Scully sauce, Leave the Bones. Sam the Cooking Guy in the subject line. Good luck.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs. And the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Let's see if we got a winner here. Yeah, they'll be coming in. My next guest, a longtime sponsor of this show, the only place I recommend you to do your online shopping for all your barbecue and grilling items. It's not out here to screw you. The pitmaster of Tasty Licks barbecue team. We race over to the hotline and pull up Fred Bernardo of Tasty Licks barbecue. Fred, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Greg. Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Fred. Always appreciate you making time for the show.
How's my audio feed, okay?
Yeah, sound good to me. Does it sound good to you?
Sure, but I'm a little disappointed that we're not having video. You know, I washed my face, and then I worked on my lighting.
Really?
You know, yes.
Oh, my Lord. It's all going awry. I apologize. Hopefully we'll get that worked out for next time, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. We got a winner of the Smokin' Scully sauce. It's Chris Mamaw. Chris Mamaw wins a 6-pack of Smokin' Scully sauce. Fred, a couple different things to talk about tonight here during our time together. Not the least of which was the Three Eyes barbecue class that took place, I believe it was February 23rd. So was that like last weekend, I guess, or the weekend before? If you could kind of give us the lowdown of exactly what that class was supposed to be or how you were billing it, and then your thoughts of how the class actually went down.
Okay, well, this was not a serious competition class, and it was never billed as that, so that wasn't a big deal. We had plenty of people that just wanted to learn how to cook, and a lot of people just wanted to see Dan and Chris in action and hope that maybe just a little bit of their good vibes would rub off on some of us competitors, because those dudes had like an incredible season, and they started this season off right away, came out of the chute with a win. So, we just had a nice time. They showed we had everything from beginner backyarders to experienced competition people, and had a nice class, ribs and chicken, and, it was fun.
Did you, as you're kind of paying attention to what people are asking and kind of how they're chatting up the pitmasters, was there a common themed question that people were asking? Were people still trying to get brisket ideas and techniques, even though maybe that wasn't being covered?
There was a little bit of that, a little bit of people asking brisket, and even though they were cooking chicken and ribs, people couldn't help but start asking about other things. And we announced on the application, on the registration for this, that this was not going to be a give out the secrets class. It was just a cooking class. But they may have given some out, but no one knows if they did or not. And of course, everybody's looking for that secret. That magic thing.
What are Dan and Chris like when they put on a class? I mean, is this the second time you've had them in now? Or you had the Plowboys, right?
This is the first time we had them. Most of the classes we do are, either we bring in a national person, like we have Harry Sue on March 16th and 17th, and we can talk a little bit about that. But, I do most of them myself. And but, when I do have a guest people come in, it's nice to have people like Chris and Dan. I mean, they were great. Everybody loved them, and we're going to bring them back. And I couldn't say enough about these guys. We compete against them quite a few times every year, and they're great competitors, and they gave me a lot of tips, early in the game. They helped me out, and, just a couple of good guys, and the rest of the guys on their team, too. I mean, they're just doing an awesome job, and they're great guys, and everybody really loved them.
So when as a business owner, you're always looking, and obviously you're dealing with the barbecue and grilling industry. So since you have the brick and mortar place in beautiful downtown Shillington, Pennsylvania, when you bring these guys in, is it a hard sell for you when you call a Harry Sue or when you call Todd Johns or Dan Hickson and say, hey, what's it going to take, or what kind of a conversation takes place to land somebody like that to get over to you?
Well, I must tell you, I've talked to most of the heavy hitters, except for, the top dog, but most of the heavy hitters. And, I had quite a few to select from this year, and Harry was kind of my first choice just because of his diversity and his attitude and his whole approach to cooking and competition and things. And so I was happy that he was, I do things I like to do things ahead of time. So we set this thing up, 8 or 9 months ago. So, and it was good because within a few weeks, this whole year was booked. But I've talked to most of the heavy hitters, and, next year, to 2014, we'll have somebody else in, maybe we'll wait and see how the season goes a little bit. But, we could have brought any of the big boys in, we could have did a full bore, competition, which Harry Sue is doing. He's going to do his full bore competition approach plus a bunch of other stuff. But I like to have the big guns in, maybe one a year, and the rest of the time either I do them or I'm going to bring in Dan, of course, probably a bunch more times, depending on the schedule, because I start competing. We start competing here, after the thaw. In a couple of weeks. Speaking of that, I talked to Harry Sue today, and he said, "What's the temperature there?" And I said, "Yeah, it's like 36 degrees." And he was like, "Oh no!" He said he always teaches in shorts. I said, "Not this time, dude."
Yeah, bring your pants and pack a jacket.
Right, that's exactly what I said.
March 16th and 17th, so it's not this weekend, but the weekend after this coming.
Yep.
Is it sold out already? Are there still spots open?
No. He's doing 2 classes. They're 6. He does a 6-hour class, and he has it really structured. He's done the same exact class many, many times. He does a 6-hour class, 15 foods. He does the 4K CBS meats, using one 18-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. And then using a variety of other things. He endorses Green Mountain pellet grills, most of the stuff we sell. He does a bunch of his signature dishes, like his ahi tuna dish and tri-tip and a certain kind of cornbread and some sides and da-da-da. So it's a 6-hour thing, a lot of eating, semi-hands-on. The people sort of help him cook. We start at 7 o'clock in the morning. Harry's going to be cooking all night, and he's going to be sleeping in Barbecue 1.
Oh,
that's right, our motorhome.
I've heard a song about that one or time.
You remember the song "The Legend of Barbecue 1"?
I might, yes.
Right. I broke it on your show,
That's right. I do remember that. No, hard.
And, but anyway, we're gonna have a fun weekend. Harry's really, I'm telling you, he's doing 2 of these classes. He does, Saturday and then Sunday. We had a limited number of seats. Usually the person that's putting on the class, sets all, gives me the parameters. And we sold out. I mean, I didn't even really advertise. I sent it out on my mailing list a couple times. We have about 20,000 barbecue fans on our email list. And, I have a huge waiting list. I mean, anybody cancels, the spot will be filled instantaneously. But I don't think that's going to happen. Everybody's really revved up to come cook with Harry. And I'm really happy to have him coming in.
Where's the farthest that somebody's coming in for the Harry Sue class?
I think Oklahoma, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, there's some locals. Regionals, some competitors, some of the people that I compete with, like Heath from Pork Barrel Barbecue. He's out in Texas now. He just picked up his Jambo, but he said he's coming. He's registered. And I was at the Mid-Atlantic Barbecue Association banquet last week, and a couple people there said they were, registered for the class. And but we have everything from, far aways. I think maybe Minnesota, or maybe they're on the waiting list. Gee, I don't remember, but there were between the people that are registered and the people on the waiting list. It's all over the United States and probably Canada also.
And Shillington, Pennsylvania, has the capacity to house these people in regards to hotels and motels and all that stuff.
Well, it's 15 people per class.
Wow.
So yeah. Believe it or not, Shillington does have a Best Western that has plenty of room in it.
Booming metropolis. But
this is only it's a 6-hour class, so people can come in the morning and they'll leave mid-afternoon. It's not like one of those there's no reason to like wait for these things. He'll put a set of meat on early and cook it all night and have it finishing up during the class. That's what I always do. And then you prepare a second set of meat during the class so everybody sees the preparation, how it goes on. And then that becomes the set of meat for the next day. So I'm sure that's what he's going to do.
What's the
people
ticket?
are interested in seeing that Weber, seeing him cook the whole contest on a Weber.
Of course, smallest footprint in barbecue. What's the ticket cost for that?
I think it was $3.99 if I'm not mistaken. Harry set the price. Pretty sure it was $3.99. And, it's limited to 15 people, so we're going to be inside. We'll have the cookers out in the front porch just like every other Saturday. And we block off the front of the store, hang a curtain up, and we have a private class there. And should be a riot.
Look, I don't know nothing from nothing, but 15 people, I mean, that's a pretty intimate class, let's say. But for semi-hands-on, I mean, $400, that seems like a lot, right?
No, I don't think so. I think that's really reasonable.
$400?
What's that?
$400?
Well, you go to Myron's class, you spend $750.
Oh, God.
Plus,
well, I know
plus
that.
hotels,
Ay. Well,
who won more contests last year, him or Myron? I think maybe he did.
Well, I don't know, and I'm not going to attempt to look foolish.
Just citing that as an example. I think it's very reasonable. Let me tell you, I could have booked 1,000 people. I'll bet.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he's very popular, so I think that's obviously going to do very well for you, and Harry's going to have a great time out there on the East Coast, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, and he donates all the money to charity, I think he told me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he doesn't even get paid. And, I mean, he's, in the setup of these classes, every cook does it different, as far as, us and them and who pays for what, et cetera. But Harry's having special meat flown in. It's certainly not going to be cheap. And but I'm pretty sure he gives all his proceeds to charity, And I give all mine to my employees.
Of course. That's why they're employees.
That's right. That works.
All right, so Harry Sue's coming March 16th and 17th, so that'll be the week after next. Are there any other classes that are going on, at least in the upcoming?
Yeah, no, actually, we're kind of getting to the end of the class season. I did, quite a few pizza master classes, and I've done a couple briskets, and I had a good year with briskets and pork last year. So people around here sort of want to see what I was doing, and so I did a lot of those, and I do a lot of beginner people that just want to learn how to cook pulled pork or ribs or something, and I usually do that prior to the season. And right now we're starting to think about the coming season, so I don't know if we'll have. I might throw a couple more pizza ones in here next month, because I can do those inside, but. Other than that, I think we'll just get to we do demos, like casual demo classes on Saturday mornings, free ones. If I'm not competing, usually we do some sort of free demo on a Saturday morning. But any formal ones I'll announce via my email and website.
Now, we've referenced the 2013 competition season. What are the plans that you've had laid out now for this? Is this the third year in competition?
Yep, this will be my third year. So, I don't know. I'm just hoping I can do at least as good as last year. And who knows, maybe even a little better. And I took the approach over the winter the same as I did the year before, use the winter to get my head mentally together and maybe retool a couple things. And the things that I did good with, make sure I'm just, doing them the same.
Is there going to be like a contest that you go to is going to be really far away or out of the region that you're focusing on?
No, I don't think so. There's so many. We could go out every weekend, probably within about 3 or 4 hours of our home base here. Probably every weekend from April through maybe September or October. And I thought about maybe going farther, but Barbecue One, man, phoo-wee. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Remember the song, "Is She Gonna Run?" That's Barbecue One.
Right. The Barbecue One.
But ran great last year, and I think maybe I got the bugs out, actually. But, there's so many close by. I don't see any reason to go far unless maybe we qualify for one of the big ones.
All right, so shooting to do just as good, perhaps even better than last year, and last year was a very good year.
Baby.
As far as the store is concerned, we addressed the classes. Are there any new products or anything new that you want to announce to the Centralites tonight while we have a couple minutes left?
Yeah, well, a couple things I'm working on. We have our secret sauce, which did good in competition for a lot of teams last year and is great for just eating. And we're going to have that in gallons very soon. People have been asking me for those for a long time. Pretty soon we're going to have the Oak Ridge products. People are looking for those, their brines and all their rubs and things. I have a new line of baking stones that I'm having made for me, a real high-temp ceramic material. I have a 15-inch size, which really works perfect in a big green egg and a large big green egg. Plus, I have a rectangular one that works in pellet grills and things. So if you're looking for a baking stone to bake bread or pizza in your grill or even your home oven, if you go on our website and just put in like super ceramic, they come up on the little search box.
Is that going to crack when I cook on it?
No, it's not going to crack.
Right. That's the biggest issue that I've ever had with every pizza stone I've ever gotten is the freaking thing cracks.
You're getting the wrong ones.
All right. Well, I'm going to be going to TastyLicksBBQ.com to get me a super ceramic pizza stone.
Absolutely. And do you do pizza in your oven? Is that where you?
No, I do it on my Bubba Keg, which is a fake big green egg.
Right, man. Just get it in there and get it fired up. Some of them crack because they can't handle direct flame when you put them in a grill like that.
Well, that could probably be the exact reason why that's doing it, because I'm getting mine from Target.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, these that we have, they'll take 2,000 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And we've already taken them at the store, where we wanted to switch things around, and we put our hot gloves on and grabbed the stone, and it was like even hotter than we thought, and we flung it into a snowbank. Even the shock. The only thing that'll break it is if you drop it, it'll crack on something. But thermal-wise, these things are really, really durable.
All right, so look for that pizza stone, and you got the Oak Ridge products coming in, of course. The gallon of secret sauce soon to be available. Yep. This guy is Fred Bernardo. You know him, you love him. He is the purveyor of Tasty Licks BBQ and, of course, the pitmaster of Tasty Licks Barbecue Competition Cooking Team. Fred, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Great, Greg. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you next time.
You got it. There he is. Fred Bernardo of Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply. I recommend that you shop there so you don't get screwed on the internet by crazies. Crazies are all over the place. Your chance to win a $10 gift card from the Barbecue Superstore coming up next. But first, let me talk to you about Stephen DeFranco and Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Look, I was just in there yesterday. My wife has it's this watch, but it communicates with some other device. Not only is it a watch, but it was something else. I think the watch was secondary. And the battery died on it. But it's a special battery that Walmart doesn't have and that Target Electronics doesn't have and all this other stuff. So she throws the watch at me the other day, and she's like, hey, take this up to Steve, see if he can help me out. I was like, he can help you out. So I ran my skinny little ass up to the corner of 91 and 84. Stopped in to see Stephen DeFranco. He was helping some lady pick out diamonds. One of his friendly staff ladies helped me out, and she looked at it and she said, hey, we can get that fixed for you. No problem. I was like, I don't know. You might want to take a look at it. This battery cannot be found by hide nor hair. She chuckled, came back 15 minutes later, and said, boom, you're done. Sent me on my merry little way. That's why I like dealing with Stephen DeFranco, Stephen DeFranco's Jewelers. You should deal with them, too. StephenDeFranco.com is the website, DIFRANCO, StephenDeFranco.com. He carries the complete Bulova line of watches. He's got Citizen. He has Philip & Company, which is a cottage watchmaker based right here in west of Cleveland. He's got these new, I believe it's called 2 Exist. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's called 2 Exist. They're brand new. Look at them on his website. They are definitely an interesting looking watch, if we can say it like that. And then all the other standby stuff. Earrings, diamond rings, necklaces, different kinds of jewelry that you might not even think about. He's got it, and he wants to save you a lot of money when you mention the term barbecue brother or barbecue sister. You call him 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. Ask for Steve, and then deal with him from there. Tell him what you want. Watch the savings happen. All right, we'll come back for a $10 giveaway to the Barbecue Superstore. That's a $10 giveaway to thebbqsuperstore.com. Get ready to win. Your chance is next. Stand by.
Time on the show when we give stuff away for no money. That's why it's free of charge. You can win stuff and I'll give it away for free.
All right, your chance to win a $10 gift card to thebbqsuperstore.com. Richard Parker and the good folks over at the Barbecue Superstore doing this giveaway. It's pretty much a standing giveaway. How about this damn thing close? Close, you freaking close thing. Send me an email, and in the subject line, it should say Barbecue 1. Barbecue 1. I'm not going to be particular this time on how you spell it. So if you want that $10 gift card from thebbqsuperstore.com, send me an email in the subject line, Barbecue 1. Good luck.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Noise Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots. We don't need a radio. Bring a jukebox for my outlaws. Bring me 3 shots.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. I want to thank Fred Bernardo and Sam Zion for joining me during the first hour. Whoa. What happened there? Oh, second hour wrap-up. What is that all about? Give me the first hour wrap-up. There we go. Well, there's the first hour wrap-up. That's all I was looking for. So I'm going to have to go back in and fix that. That's for sure. All right. Again, thanks to Sam the Cooking Guy and Fred Bernardo. TastyLicksBBQ.com, thesamlivecast.com. Second hour is going to have us having a conversation with Mitch Sonati and closing out with Malcolm Reed. An autographed copy of Wicked Good Barbecue as well. Don't want to miss that. Your chance to win it. All that plus more, you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
It's got a lot of power.
Come on, Greg. You're asking a guy whose team name is Pellet Envy. So obviously the answer you're going to get is no.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine. How's it going?
Charbono. It's all about the Charbono, dude. I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
How hot is Kelly Ripa in person?
Kelly Ripa is super hot. She's absolutely delicious.
Oh, yeah.
You could